But the co-main event, we got to talk about these three title fights. The co-main event lived up to expectations as well. In fact, some people would even say it exceeded expectations. We had young Weili versus Thug Rose Namajunas. Now, we obviously have talked about how dominant Weili has been since she's joined the UFC, was on a 20-fight win streak, had just came off a dominant performance against Joanna Jędrzejczyk in one of the fights that we think personally is going to go down as the fight of the year, one of the most historic fights in UFC history. I mean, it lived up to all of that billing, but we obviously knew about about Thug Rose. And ultimately with Rose, man, she had beat Joanna twice in devastating fashion the first time, knocking her out. And outside of a fluky slam on her head to Jessica Andrade, she had been, on the rise and was a beast. But then obviously she gets hurt, loses the belt, but comes back and wins some more. So you see, the storyline of she never really lost the belt. She more so got hurt, fluky slam, but she was going to be having her toughest test. And we thought that this was going to be one of those wars, just all out brawls. But man, you talk about Thug Rose and her timing, her movement from start to, it didn't last that long. It was only about, half a minute, if that, 2 minutes tops. But the way, Rose is moving around, just controlling the distance and just making Weili have to gauge her, try to find the distance. And you could just see Rose, man, she comes to them with the high kick. And it was crazy because most of the time that kick lands outside of a person's arm, right? More so on this angle. But she was able to get it inside here, put her to sleep. I mean, it was nuts. Now, granted, Weili, she has an amazing chin. I mean, even though she dropped, we thought it was over then, she technically was still awake. Technically. But we also, man, the hammer fist at the end of that thing definitely put her out. Glad that the referee stopped the fight. Even though she got up and she was upset about the stoppage, heat of the moment, that's all that was, man. If she goes back and looks at this fight again multiple times, she will see that, yes, that was the correct answer. That was the best decision to stop that fight because she could not defend herself. It was over with. But that's the fight I got to see a rematch in. Have to, because both of those fighters are too good. Both of their storylines, everything that's led up to this fight, it's perfect. And because of how fast the finish was, it leaves the intrigue of, was this a lucky shot? Was it a fluke? Now, I don't think it was a fluke because Rose is a beast. I mean, the same thing could be said when she fought Joanna the first time, and then she ran it back and dominated her again. For me, I just want to see it again because it happened so fast. I just feel like Weili is too dominant a fighter, too good of a fighter to not get the opportunity to come back. So I definitely look forward to seeing that. Hopefully, it doesn't take too long for this rematch to happen, but as a whole, that's the one. That is definitely the one. But that was an amazing fight. I mean, I feel like anytime Rose wins a belt, she does it in just dominant, historic, just mind-blowing fashion. And surely enough, she lived up to that billing again last night.